Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Xenia, aka a girl with an accent. Whether you are a beginner sewist or a more seasoned one, I'm sure there was a time in your sewing journey where you were wondering about cutting down your sewing costs. Patterns, fabric, notions, everything adds up. And you were just trying away. Whatever the reason behind it, I was there. I was you. If you try searching out, you'll find out that most of the videos, especially themed free sewing patterns, capsule wardrobe, end up just there at suggestions on which patterns you could use, which patterns could go well together in sewing your dream wardrobe. But most of the time, you cannot find other people' experiences, even for one pattern, let alone a whole capsule. That is how I got the idea for this video. I'll make it. I'll make a whole mini summer capsule wardrobe made entirely of free sewing patterns. And this was my process. After researching how to put together a capsule wardrobe, I made a small list, or not so small, where I noted in general what types of garments I'd need. This is where all those suggestion videos came very helpful because I could narrow down my list, I could find patterns that I've never heard of. The list was very long at the beginning, so I had to go through each and every one of those patterns, narrowing it down to fit my challenge rules. And there weren't many rules for this challenge that I set upon myself. The first one was that the pattern is free.
And that it is size inclusive. And by size inclusive, I mean actually decent size range, not just naming a size 5XL and then realizing that even I am out of the size chart. And to be clear, I am grateful for all the free resource. I know how much work it requires. However, I wanted it to be as inclusive as possible so as many people as possible could try out the patterns that I put in this video.
My second, not a rule, but wish for this video was to try as many different pattern designers or as many different resources as I possibly could in order to determine whether their patterns fit me better or which ones fit me better. And the third rule was to use only fabric in my stash, which is not huge. You can see most of it behind me. But a lot of these fabrics were bought not very mindfully. They were on sale, or I liked them at the moment. I wasn't thinking what goes well with what. I wasn't thinking about actual use for them. So, this part of the challenge is going to be the most difficult part. While I do have a lot of patterns in mind for the summer, I had to narrow down this list because my free time for sewing is very limited. When I finally made a general plan of how I would like to proceed and which fabrics to use, I went ahead and downloaded all of the patterns. I read through the instructions, checking which size I need to cut for myself and whether or not I thought I would need any adjustments for these patterns. In the end, I ended up making 3 tops and 3 bottoms. Stay with me to see how they turn out and whether they actually go together very well, and also to hear my thoughts on whether or not these patterns were worth it. For my first top, I chose Core T-shirt by Closet Core Patterns. Well, we all need a basic t-shirt, and this one was exactly that. Also, it had a very cute pocket and 2 views, regular and slightly cropped one with 2 sleeve length options, short and 3/4. You can download this pattern by going to their website and signing up for the newsletter. After that, you'll get a link to download the pattern for free. It comes with printed home and A0 files, which I used with my projector and traced it on paper as it seemed easier and more precise. Core T has 2 size ranges, 0 to 20, which is drafted for a big garment cup, which is 2-inch difference between high and full bust, and covers 31-inch to 46-inch full bust. And then there is a size range 14 to 32 drafted for D cup, which is 4-inch difference between high and full bust. And this one goes from 42-inch to 60-inch full bust measurement. What's great about this pattern is that the D cup comes with a dart, so people with larger bust or bigger cup size can easily make a full bust adjustment following any tutorial they find online. My measurements put me exactly between sizes 14 and 16 in the D cup range, and I opted to make a larger size for looser fit. I decided to use that stock slubby cotton jersey knit from Blackbird's fabric in color ivory for this garment. It's basic white t-shirt, which we all need. As for the fit of this garment, I think it's enough to say that I'll be making it again. Next one is Bloma Tank by Paradise Patterns. It's a basic tank top, must have during hot summer days. And this one also ticked all the boxes. In order to download, you have to sign up for newsletter and you'll get an email with the download button. This one has printed home, A0, and projector files. It has two views. One is with and one without the dart. Also, having the dart is great if you want to make a full bust adjustment if you have a larger bust cup size. It comes in sizes A to L, which covers in the view A 30 to 58-inch bust and in the view B 32 to 60-inch bust. View B is the one that's drafted for D cup, and this is what I used. Based on my measurements, I chose size G. A fabric that I used is several years old from Mood Fabrics, and it was titled Sachet Pink, Navy, and White Hearts Cotton. I love this pattern as well. When I choose to make it again, I might slightly lower the darts to fit my body better. Now, for the third top, I wanted to do something unique, something more fun, not just basic t-shirt. I had a lot of ideas, but like I mentioned, not enough time. So I remember that in the past I have already made some free sewing patterns, and one of them was a tank that could easily fit into this summer capsule wardrobe. It's Luna Tank by Helen's Closet. Size range is 0 to 34, which covers 33-inch to 62-inch hip. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe I made size 20 to 22. I used leftover fabric scraps for this one. The polka dot one I got from Etsy shop called Sew from the Heart. This was many years ago, I believe even more than 5 years ago. And for the back, I used stretch mesh from a local fabric store here where I live. I wore this top quite a lot in the previous years, and it still has a lot of life left. And it will go perfectly with the rest of the fabrics that I have in this mini collection. Fit of this pattern is very loose and forgiving, and now that I'm telling you this, I don't know why I don't have more than one. Now I went ahead and did a lot of batch cutting for this project. Like I cut all the tops and some of the bottoms at the same time. But while I was cutting, I realized that I don't have many bottom weight fabrics. And I realized that I have some denim left over somewhere, and that even though denim is heavier, that I could use that to make a summer shorts. While I was researching on free patterns for shorts, especially the ones that would fit denim, I ended up researching Mood Fabrics library. They have a lot of free patterns, but I was always a little bit wary of using those because when I was a beginner, I made a dress and I wasn't really happy with the fit. However, this was many, many years ago, and I learned to fit my garments a little bit better this time, and we'll see if that will help me with these shorts. I opted for the Biarritz skirt, which is a really nice looking skirt. It has short part and the flap that goes over it. Download is very easy. You go through their website, find the pattern that you like, put your name and email, and you get the pattern in your inbox. Unfortunately, this one only comes with printed home files. But you know what? It's a free pattern. I can't complain. Although I did have a lot of issues with my printer for this one. Size range on this one goes from XS to 5XL, which is 34 to 63-inch hip. While I was debating whether to make XL or 2XL, someone in the Facebook group Mood Society told me that this pattern runs a little bit large, so I decided to use XL. I'm not sure if this was a mistake and if I should have followed my gut and cut in the middle of the two sizes, but we'll find out. I decided to keep the 2XL length because I don't like my thighs chafing. So it's a little bit longer than the real XL, but I made the XL in terms of width. One of the downsides of this pattern is that it doesn't come with any pockets. And for me, if I'm sewing a garment, it has to have pockets. So while I was thinking about how to add those, maybe to side seam, under the skirt, here and there, I realized that I wanted to make it as simple as possible so anyone could actually do it. And I just got some rectangles and made patch pockets for the back. After all this tragedy with printer and making jeans skirt, which was not really easy, I decided I need a quick win. No printing, no projecting, no paper, no files, except the instructions. Ballet Bow Skirt by Matchy Matchy Sewing Club. Matchy Matchy Sewing Club has a lot of free patterns that are really cute, and I'm hoping to make more in the future of their patterns. But for this video, I needed some bottoms, and this skirt seemed like it would fit in my summer capsule wardrobe. It has slits on the side, which are like tied with ties, and it's really cute. There is no pattern file, so you just follow the instructions, cut some rectangles, and it's very easy to make. The size range for this one is 34-inch to 67-inch hip, but since this is just the instructions, you can actually make it yours, add or subtract whatever you need. The pattern is drafted for a person that's 5'5" or 165 centimeters height. So I added 1 inch to the length, or better yet, I added it in the part that goes like between my waist and hip because I wanted the slit to start a little bit lower. And like I mentioned before, I really dislike not having pockets in my garments. So I decided to add some side seam pockets to this one as well. I basically just drew a pocket piece on a piece of paper and made it work. If you have a pattern that has nice pockets, you could use that. This took some finagling and it ruined my nicely finished insides of the garment, but it worked out in the end somehow, and I'm happy I added it because I would hate to wear a skirt with no pockets, no place to put my hands, if nothing else. For the final bottoms, I chose a relatively new free sewing pattern. It's called Lounge Pants by L Stitch. To download, you go to her Instagram, you just click the link that's on her profile, and you'll find the lounge pants there. These pants contain printed home, A0, and projector files. These projector files are actually projector friendly. You don't have to flip anything around, all the pattern pieces are there. This pattern is drafted for a person that's 160 centimeters or 5'3" tall. And since I'm 10 centimeters or 4-inch taller, I decided to add some length to the pattern. I added some to the crotch rise, which is something that sometimes I have to do in general with pants patterns. So I decided to go with 2-inch increase here. Might have overkilled this one, but let's just go with it. And then I added 1 inch to the length, to the inseam length, just to be sure that this will fit. Sizing on this is from size 4 to 34, which then translates to 86 centimeters to 146 centimeters hips, or 33.8 inch to 57.4 inch. It has two views, top stitched pocket on the front and drawstring. It also has back pockets, but I'm gonna omit those because my fabric is very lightweight. The fabric is rayon from a local fabric shop, and I cut size 20. I had a small issue with pockets and not matching them perfectly to the front, but in the end, it all turned out great. And I'm not sure whether I made mistake because I wasn't cutting everything on the same day. I projected part of the pattern and traced it because I wanted to add height, and then other part I just projected. So I may have made a mistake, although I am sure that I didn't add height throughout the pockets, but somehow I did mess up something there. So just be aware. It might be my mistake, but also might be the pattern. Not sure. Now, here are all the combinations that I made using all these 6 sewing patterns. What do you think?
Now, in the end, my thoughts on all of the projects that I made. In determining if I would make these patterns again or not, or whether they were worth my time and will they be worth your time, I'm not only talking about does it fit me out of the box, let's say, because we all have different bodies and we all might need some kind of adjustment, which is something that we learn more the more we sew. So the fit alone isn't necessary the tell if the pattern is good. For example, some people will always have to do full bust adjustment. Some people will always have to do height adjustment, and that doesn't mean that the pattern itself is bad. It just means we are different and we should create things that fit our body the best. Throughout this process, I mostly had great experience. Most of the patterns have beautiful instructions and are actually good fit on first try with some small adjustments that I did knowing that I was higher than the pattern is drafted for. However, there was one pattern that I would probably never make again, which is the pattern from a Mood Society website, because not only that the fit isn't for me, I would have to make a lot of changes in order for it to fit me, although it does look cute, but also, the instructions on this one are not that great, so be aware if you want to try it. I would not recommend it for someone who is a beginner. I had to figure out things by myself. Other than that, all of the patterns I truly love. Most of them I will make again as soon as possible. If you like this video and you would like to see more of similar or other videos from me, please consider liking it and subscribing to my channel. I am new, as you can see, and I'm sure that that will help me get more audience and more videos to you. Bye!